Welcome to the Hot Takes House. It's your boy, George Reister in the building, host, creator of unafraidshow.com. You guys, make sure you visit. So many great things, so many great articles up there. This is the Hot Takes House, though. This is where we go the hottest takes of the weekend. But before we got it posted, crazy stuff started happening out in the world. So we got that as well. I appreciate you joining me. Please like the feed, share the feed, tell a friend about the Unafraid Show. We're going to get into the Hot Takes House. Good morning to you guys as well. And I want to get into, we have some viewer questions. You guys, if you guys ever have any questions, I encourage you and I will answer them. Most people will ignore them. I will answer them. I'm mad. I am MAD at unafraidshow.com. I will answer all your questions. I get to them. First question from Mike Davis. He said, one question related to your career. You left Oregon 1 year early. Do you believe it helped start a trend for other players declaring for the draft with eligibility, culminating with individuals electing to skip bowl games, now entire seasons? Nick Bosa. So, yes, I am live. I don't believe I started the trend because there were multiple players before me who came out early. But at Oregon, yes, I started a trend at Oregon. Me, Ontario Smith were one of the first guys to leave early like that. Then followed like Haloti Ngata, other guys. But it's important for college athletes to really remember that they are their own business. I don't have a problem with guys not sitting out seasons, all of that stuff, because the NCAA is not paying them. They are a temporary stop for you, and they are making back money off of your back. So if you are a guy who's going to be a first-round draft pick, you have to protect yourself. I'm not mad at them at all. Mike has some more questions. We will get to those in a minute, but it is time for the Hot Takes House. Yes, and we're going to start with the trades of the day. So you got Golden Tate to the Eagles. I love Golden Tate to the Eagles. Think the Golden Tate personally is kind of a douche because of what he did with Russell Wilson's wife. Well, now his ex-wife, not Sierra. His ex-wife, and that's why he got out of Seattle to begin with. But yeah, I love it for the Eagles for football reasons. They don't have like they got Alshon Jeffrey, but he's a big, slow, lumbering guy. He's a good receiver. They got Nelson Aguilar, who's inconsistent. Zach Ertz is a top flight tight end. And to add a playmaker like Golden Tate is a big deal. Good move for the Eagles. Demaryius Thomas, he got traded to the Houston Texans. Oh my God, bold move by the Houston Texans. I love it. There is also, here's the other thing about that, is that the Texans are all in on what they're doing right now. 100%. They believe that they have a Super Bowl team, and I couldn't agree with them anymore. Deshaun Watson is lighting it up. They're going to win the AFC South. This is a good football team. Here's the fun fact of the day, which you get with the Hot Takes House every single week. Fun fact. Nearly 3% of all the ice in Antarctic glaciers is penguin urine. Yep, only the Hot Takes House gives you that once a week. Also in the NFL, because the Hot Takes House, the hottest takes from the weekend, includes the NFL, college football, Major League Baseball. We got it. It's all for you. Actually, before we get to the Browns, I want to get to FitzMagic. FitzMagic is back with the Buccaneers. And that creates a huge math problem. I want to explain something to you guys. Math in the real world makes sense. 1 + 1 = 2. 2 + 2 = 4. Like, these are simple things we all understand. And more is usually better than less. But in football, specifically, if you have two quarterbacks like the Buccaneers have, Fitzpatrick and Jameis Winston, you add two quarterbacks together, you get 0. 1 + 1 = 0 in football math. Two quarterback systems don't work. If you're unsure who your starter is going to be, it only creates problems for the team. You get locker room dissension because guys are like, wait, I think this guy should be starting. I think this guy should be starting. It never goes well at all. Messes up the game plan, and it prevents winning. NFL math, college football math, 1 + 1 = 0. Find me a time, because I've challenged people to do this multiple times. Find a time where you have seen quarterbacks, 2 quarterbacks, successfully work out a 2-quarterback system. It does not, never has ever happened. It's just not a winning formula. And the moral of the story is the Buccaneers' season is finished, and they need to plan for their future at quarterback, because I don't know if Jameis Winston is it, because he does not look like the guy that everybody thought he was going to be. You guys are watching the Hot Takes House with George Reister. Please swipe up, share the feed, tell a friend about the Unafraid Show. Next thing on the Hot Takes House, how is the NFL going to figure out a possible 4-way tie for the worst team in the NFL? How? Because it is mathematically possible that the Giants, Raiders, 49ers, and Cardinals all finish with the worst record in the league. Tied for the worst record in the league. You know what they should do? I came up with a solution. They should have a Super Bowl or a toilet bowl during Pro Bowl weekend. They're always trying to figure out how they're going to make Pro Bowl weekend better, more engaging. Put a game for the worst 2 teams. You can use the tiebreakers to figure out the worst 2. And then let those teams play it out on the field. The winner, because it'd be easy for teams to tank right there and just lose on purpose. The winner gets the #1 pick in the draft. Yep. There goes your engagement. I like that right there. Because but at least the good news is that the teams that are bad, like the Giants, Raiders, 49ers, they keep the games close. So TV ratings aren't suffering. Good job. Good job there. But that's how they should solve the problem. That's what I would do. I would have them play during Pro Bowl weekend. That'd be great. Next up on the Hot Takes House. There's a video up on there about the Seahawks performed the greatest touchdown celebration of all time. They reenacted Robin Ventura and Nolan Ryan's fight in baseball. It was awesome. I loved it. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. College football on the Hot Takes House. Actually, before we even get to college football on the Hot Takes House, I have a legit question. The NFL is perplexing to me because they just suspended Mykal Kendricks. Mykal Kendricks, the linebacker who just got convicted of insider trading. Insider trading. 8 games. They suspended him 8 games. How on earth does that make sense? When you get suspended 6 games for domestic violence, you get 2 for driving drunk, damn near killing somebody. How does this make sense? This is why the NFL needs to stay out of the business of suspending players. I know it doesn't feel good. I know it feels dirty that guys still get to play and it feels like a privilege. But this is a money-making enterprise. And if people are making money for the teams, then guess what? And they're not in jail. They should be out there on the field. I know it doesn't feel good. I know it feels dirty. I 100% agree with all that. But at the same time, I do realize as well that there is no reason why these guys should not be on the field. And then you create these inconsistent suspension policies, which just infuriate fans. Because as a man, I'm sitting there like, why was he suspended for 8 games, but a dude who beats his wife only gets 6? What? I mean, where's the math in that? The NFL fails again with that one. College football. I've said it. People have disagreed with me. I don't understand why. Because the Browns just fired Hue Jackson, which I think is a horrible move, which doesn't make sense at all. Why fire him now when the team's doing better? You didn't fire him after he went, what, like 1-31. You didn't fire him then. Team's getting better, now you fire him. That's the most Browns thing to do. The most Browns-like thing to do. Interesting that they are in Cleveland, because we have a take on the Cleveland Cavaliers in a little bit. If I'm Lincoln Riley, the coach at Oklahoma, because Cleveland Browns fans and their ownership is one of the guys that they're tabbing. There is absolutely zero chance, if I'm Lincoln Riley, that I would leave the Oklahoma job and take the Browns coaching job. First of all, he can make way more money in college. He has the opportunity to be a legend. And NFL longevity is rare. He can coach at Oklahoma for 20 plus years if he wants to, with the way he's recruiting. There's stability, and most coaches don't learn the value of stability until they have hopped jobs one too many times. And then they're like, oh, wow, I should have stayed where I was. Hue Jackson likes your background better than the ones with the Lions. That's funny. Yeah, so there's so many coaches that have hopped jobs, and they realize that the grass is not greener on the other side. Because coaching in college, you can be a legend. You cannot be a legend coaching in the NFL. It is rare. In college, think about how many top-tier coaches that you can name that fans love and adore. You got like Bear Bryant, Pop Warner, Woody Hayes, Eddie Robinson, Nick Saban, Bobby Bowden, Newt Rockne, Chip Kelly, David Shaw, Dabo Sweeney. I can keep going. But in the NFL, who do you have? You got Vince Lombardi, Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells, Chuck Noll, Tom Landry, and then you start to slow down. Then you're like, hold up. I need to Google best NFL coaches of all time. That's what you got to do. You get to be a legend. You get to make more money. Coaching in college, and you have more power. Like it is not the move to be job hopping, trying to just get to the big show. You're in college football. You are the big show. It's just a different big show. Oh, I do love the Oregon black uniforms this weekend. 100% agree with those. Love them. And I will be at the game if you are in Eugene. I need a tailgate, guys. I need a tailgate. Also, college football. I'm going to get to the top four in a minute. But I love the arrogance of Alabama fans. Like, I love the arrogance of Alabama fans who believe that they should be unquestionably the #1 team in any poll despite playing nobody. Oh, I love it. It's incredible. Up to this point, Alabama has only played one team within the top 40 teams in college football. One. They've been completely dominant. I 100% agree. I acknowledge. I believe that this team is one of the most talented teams I've ever seen. However, Clemson has played a better schedule, and Clemson has been equally as dominant the last few weeks. So how on earth are you this arrogant? I know you got Tua. I know it, but you got to play somebody at some point in time. And you do this weekend versus the LSU at LSU. So guess what, Alabama fans? Your arrogance will be acknowledged and appreciated. If you beat LSU, you go back to #1. It's that simple. You got to earn it. Like, you can't just be like, oh, well, we roll our helmets out on the field and win. It don't work like that, man. Question about the college football playoff. Right now, okay, so which teams will make the college football playoff after week 10? That's a tricky question. Because there's two. Somebody said Clemson almost got beat twice. That was weeks ago, bro. They're playing way different now. They are playing way different. Clemson doesn't even look like the same team right now. See, there are the four best teams, and the four teams I think that will that would make the playoff if it started today. The 4 teams I have in the playoff right now, in order, 1 to 4, Clemson, Alabama, Notre Dame, and LSU. Yep. That's where they have them based upon what they've earned so far. And then in number 5, I got Oklahoma, 6 Michigan, 7 Georgia, 8 Central Florida, 9 Washington State, 10 Ohio State. That's where I got them right now. But the 4 best teams, like the eye test leads me to believe. Here's what the eye test leads me to believe. Is that the 4 best teams in college football are Alabama, Oklahoma, Clemson, and Notre Dame in that order. That's what I believe. That's what all the stats and the metrics lead me to believe, that if Oklahoma can even play a little bit of defense, they're good. And they've been looking better. The next question I keep getting is, can Washington State make the playoffs? Yes, Washington State can make the playoffs if they win out. If they win out, they can make the college football playoffs. But they need... Here's what that assumes. That assumes that Washington State wins out, obviously. Alabama and Clemson win out. So that means Washington State would need Notre Dame, Oklahoma, or the Big Ten winner to lose 1 game. And if any of those things happen, the Cougars will be a lock for the college football playoff. That's it. Now on to Major League Baseball. You guys are listening to the Hot Takes House, the hottest takes from the weekend. All of that. Make sure you like the feed, share the feed, tell a friend about the Unafraid Show. David Price. David Price got robbed out of the World Series MVP. He started 2 games. He started game 2 and he started game 5. And the man pitched in game 3 and game 4 and was lights out in all of them. We've never seen a pitcher do that. He pitched in 4 games in 5 days. 2 of them he started and went 6+ innings. Pitchers don't do that. And this man, they gave it to Pierce. Pierce played well. He hit 3 home runs. Good job, big deal. David Price did more work. And his work was more needed for the championship. But I will give David Price props. He finally shut up all the naysayers who have talked trash about his postseason play, his Fortnite, and his chat rooms. Now he can do whatever the hell he wants to do because he that man. The Dodgers offense. Next on the Hot Takes House. I'm a Dodgers fan. Hence the hat. The Dodgers offense was awful in the World Series. And it was awful since the NLCS against the Brewers. They got virtually no production in the World Series from either catcher, from Grandal or Austin Barnes, Cody Bellinger, Kiki Hernandez, Machado, Chris Taylor, and for the most part, Justin Turner too. I'm a person that believes a man's strengths flow from the same well as his weaknesses. And the Dodgers' strength is the home run ball. And they died by the home run ball. Their same strength became a weakness against the Red Sox, who had the highest strikeout rate the most strikeouts in a season in MLB history. I mean, actually, instead of naming all the Dodgers that didn't play well, I should have just named the ones who did hit well. David Freese with a side of Justin Turner. Oh, and Puig. Almost forgot about Puig. I mean, they just kept hitting easy fly balls. As good as this team is, I'm unsure if home run ball can win a World Series. I am. And at this point, question, would fans be much happier with homegrown Corey Seager at shortstop than paying Manny Machado $300 million? Huh? That's a legit question, right? I don't see it possible. I would rather as a team, if I'm the team, I'm keeping Corey Seager, getting just as good of numbers, And fans aren't going to be bitter about a guy underperforming, getting $300 million. If he does underperform. Also staying with the MLB, Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts might as well let the computer manage the games. He does great in the regular season. And I'm an analytics guy. I'm a person who believes in the numbers. I believe in the analytics. However, I also understand the analytics are the compilation of stats and information over hundreds or thousands of scenarios and thousands of pieces of data. So you know what that means? That means over the course of a long time, the numbers average out. It's like if you flip a coin 10 times, you can get heads 10 times. Or tails 10 times, even though it's 50-50 every time. But if you do it 10,000 times, it's going to be even. But in a small sample size like a 7-game series, you can't go strictly with the analytics. You got to use feel, you got to use your gut feeling, and you got to use momentum and just your eye test seeing what's hot. The computer can't do that for you. Dave Roberts does not do a great job of that, and that's why the Dodgers lost. He took Rich Hill out too early in 2017 against the Astros, took him out too early this year. Come on, Dave. 2 more things left on the Hot Takes House, then I'll get to your questions, so make sure you send them in. Here, Twitter, Periscope, wherever you're watching, YouTube, send in your questions. I will get to those after the last 2 things in the Hot Takes House. The NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers, proved that they are the worst run franchise in sports when they fired Tyronn Lue 11 days into the season. The Cavaliers fired Tyronn Lue 11 days into the season, and here is how I can prove that the Cavaliers are the worst run franchise in sports. Let's just not just take it as sports. What do you know about bad companies? Bad companies run off their best talent, let successful leaders leave, and are consistently over budget or salary, yet understaffed. Yep, the Cavs hit the trifecta. Run off their best player, LeBron. Let successful leaders leave, David Griffin, the GM. Are consistently over budget and understaffed. LeBron always needs more help. The roster's not talented enough. Yet you're way over the salary cap. Mismanagement. Telling you. See, you got to look at it from these angles. Not just, you got to look at it from a business angle. Would you call a business bad who was always over budget, let successful leaders leave, and ran off their best talent? Yeah, that's what you would say. And why on earth? And also the other thing is, you would believe that the Cavaliers are a poorly coached, them firing Tyronn Lue says that David Griffin and whoever else is in charge believes that Tyronn Lue's a bad coach. So here's the thing. If you believe Tyronn Lue's a bad coach, why did you let him coach your championship caliber teams with LeBron? He won a championship, won Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7s. You let this charade go on and on if you didn't believe that. And mind you, I'm a person who's been critical of Tyronn Lue. But at the same time, I also realize that the Cavs couldn't have thought he was a bad coach. And if they did, they're idiots for letting him remain the coach while you have LeBron. That's stupid. Why would you waste opportunities at championships? Because you already beat the Warriors once. Why would you waste an opportunity at a championship keeping a bad coach? They started out 0-5 this year. So you thought that Tyronn Lue was going to magically make Tristan Thompson into a double-double guy, a 10-point, 10-rebound guy? No. Did you think Kevin Love was going to give you different results than you got in Minnesota? 25-12, no playoffs. I mean, you got nobody else besides your rookie Colin Sexton, and he's a rookie, and he's not LeBron. This is pure idiocy. Last thing on the hot takes house before we get to your questions, the winner of the weekend. The winner of the weekend. You know who won the weekend? The Warriors won the weekend. With their response to Fergie's ex-husband, Josh Duhamel, he said that Draymond Green should apologize to Fergie for laughing at her rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. And then the Warriors went on and did dance to the remix. Loved it. Josh Duhamel, you need to shut your face because first of all, Draymond Green was not the only person laughing. Everybody at home was laughing. Everybody. He just so happened to be the person that they put the camera on. When you screw something up, you can't get mad at people for laughing at it or making a joke about it. You just got to own it. Because if you can't be self-deprecating and laugh at yourself when you screw up, people will continue to troll you. If you own it, it will die. If you fight it, it will live for eternity because they know it gets at you a little bit. And Josh Duhamel, I know you're trying to make it right with Fergie because you did her wrong. That was not the move. That was not the move in questioning the man's manhood. I wouldn't apologize either. I'd have made the video too. Now I'm going to get to your questions on the Hot Takes House. From Eric. Kershaw coming back or no? I think Kershaw comes back because I think his pride makes him come back for his last year on his contract. I don't think Kershaw is going to opt out. I think it's important for him to, as a man, for him to say, you know what? I didn't play as well as I wanted to. I want to make this happen in a Dodger uniform. I think so. Manny Machado and Bryce to the Phillies. Are you excited about that? I don't care. I don't care. I mean, like you can't buy. Baseball is one of those sports that you can't buy championships. To a certain extent. Like you can't just sign the biggest free agents. Like you have to home grow a lot of your talent. Like the Yankees have found that out since the last time they won a World Series. $2 billion in salary spent, no championships. Baker Mayfield will be a star. Who is the right coach for the Browns moving forward? I don't know who the right coach for them is going forward, but I know that they shouldn't have fired Hue Jackson. The reason why they shouldn't have fired Hue Jackson is because there's no upside to it. There's no upside to firing Hue Jackson at this point in time. You can't replace him with a head coach right now. The running back coach went into the meetings and was like, yo, we're not changing anything. It wasn't Todd Haley's fault. You guys just didn't execute. So why on earth do you... they're going to have the same success. It doesn't matter. So why fire a guy, create more turmoil? It doesn't make sense. And then you stick with Hue Jackson through 1-31. The team is better. Had it not been for 2 terrible referee calls, your team would be 4-4 right now. It doesn't make sense. If your offense is stagnant, yes, you can fire the offensive coordinator. But why on earth would you fire the head coach right now when you stuck with him through this and the team is improving? Like, teams that suck, they don't automatically get better. It takes them a while to learn how to win. And the Cleveland Browns were learning how to close out games and win. And they weren't able to do it yet. But people have the nerve. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Somebody said they fired him because they have Todd Haley. No, they fired Todd Haley too. They promoted Greg Williams to defensive coordinator. To head coach. Greg Williams was our defensive coordinator in Jacksonville for a year. I like him as a dude, as a coordinator, but he's not a head coach. I'm just telling you. He's going to rub people the wrong way. He's just abrasive. Like, this dude is like a Brillo pad personality. Just telling you. Any more questions before we leave the Hot Takes house today? You guys make sure you guys share the feed, like the feed, Tell a friend about the Unafraid Show. And visit unafraidshow.com. There's videos up on the Hot Takes House. You want to see, like, you don't just need to hear the Hot Takes House. You need to see the Hot Takes House. I appreciate your time. Appreciate your energy. Thank you guys for everything. Love you guys. Oh, and also, if you're up in Oregon, I will be up there this weekend for the game. You guys know how to reach me. I'm probably the most reachable person in media. In sports. You guys know how to email me. I'm mad@unafraidshow.com. Hit me up on Twitter. I always respond. Peace out. Catch you guys tomorrow with the Pac-12 power rankings and preview.